What's going on, my Dare Soul family? Welcome back to the channel. Glad you can tap in with us. In this particular video, I just want to talk about 3 things that I believe hinders us from seeing the outcomes that we desire, both practically and spiritually. And those 3 things, which I'll talk about individually as well, those 3 things are lack of patience, lack of exercise in faith, and lack of action. So let's start with patience. The definition of patience is long suffering, meaning while we wait, to actually be able to suffer while we wait. And what I've noticed even in my own life is that patience can look like waiting for an extended period that I'm okay with, but anything past that is like, okay, I need to do something. And that's my extent of patience. But biblical patience, patience that's lived out practically, is a virtue. It's patience that push past what our extent of the length of time that we would want to wait. It's actually going past that, and we begin to even suffer with the extent of how long it's taking, because we are exercising patience. It's a long suffering because the desire is not fulfilled. That is what patience actually is. Faith is a full persuasion, having a full persuasion of someone or something. Biblically, it's having a full persuasion that Christ is real, and when we flush that out practically, it's having a full persuasion that whatever it is that we're striving for, aiming for, we will achieve it. Action is just doing. Let's keep it simple. It's doing what it takes to get to where we want to go. That's action. Now, the challenge is that when we're not doing the combination of those 3 things, it really hinders us. It hinders us if we're, practically, like if we're going to go to school, if we're looking to, purchase a home and we want to save money and budget, if we're on a fitness journey, no matter what it is, not having patience, not exercising faith, and not taking action, it will hinder us practically. And that's why it's important to take a look at our lives as individuals, right? Practically and spiritually, and say, okay, where am I lacking patience in the areas that I want to accomplish something? Where am I lacking patience? Where am I getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm no longer waiting. It's gotten to a point to where I think this is too long, so I'm gonna stop right there and do something else. That's not patience. Patience is actually saying, okay, it's gotten to a point to where I really don't wanna wait, but I know this is what I need to do to get to where I wanna be. So I begin to suffer with that desire not being fulfilled so that I can wait for the right opportunity. I can wait till it's my turn, and that's important. Exercising faith is simply saying, I believe, biblically, is I believe what God said. It's that simple. I believe what God said. Or seeing it practically, I believe this opportunity is for me and I'm going after it. One of the examples, let me just use this really quick. One of the examples that I enjoy reading often is the example of Abraham and Sarah, and how even though they had a promise, it wasn't, the fulfillment of the promise wasn't coming in the time, patience, that they desired. So they had a faith in the promise, but not a faith that would keep them within the boundaries of how the promise was to come about. And I don't want to make it confusing. Sarah was married to Abraham. Sarah wasn't able to get pregnant after a while, so she's like, sleep with my maid and get her pregnant. This must be what God is going to do. They became impatient. They didn't choose to not believe in the promise. However, they lost full persuasion that the promise was going to come through Sarah and Abraham, which is how God said it would be. So in a sense, yeah, they wavered, and Sarah wavered and Abraham went along with it. And some may argue that, Abraham wavered as well, but that's not how I see it scripturally. But either way, it got them off track. and they stop taking action. In order to have a baby, you got to have sex with the person. He took. It doesn't say he stopped having sex with Sarah, but he did have sex with her maid, and lo and behold, she got pregnant, and that caused a lot of problems, a lot of chaos. But my point is, the action was, it transitioned from this intent to get his wife pregnant to now, okay, I'm sleeping with her maid. And that's why the lack of proper action, the lack of faith, and the lack of patience isn't good, and it can hinder us from becoming who God wants us to be. Now, that may be a biblical story, but there are principles in that apply to our lives day by day, practically, which is the word I like to use. It applies practically. So assess your life and look and say, where am I not suffering long because I don't want to wait anymore? Where am I not believing that I can accomplish this, or I'm not accepting God's promise? Where am I not taking action to actually accomplish what I'm inspired to do, or what I believe God wants me to do? Because it's those three things, that combination, if and when we are using it, outcomes will happen. It may not happen in the time, patience, that we want, but it will come about. It takes us holding fast to what we're fully persuaded on, faith. And it takes us doing the things day by day by day to see it come to fruition, action. So assess your life. I think this is very timely. I know for me, it was very timely. I think it's very helpful. So assess your life, see where you're lacking patience, see where you're lacking faith, see where you're lacking action, and begin to do a 180 and begin to move forward in those three things so that you can see God-like accomplishments in your life, both spiritually and practically. And as I always say, no matter what, there's hope. Hope you got something from the video. If you did, let us know in the comment section. If you know someone that could really use this video and it'll help them, share it with them. You know, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Let us know that you like this content. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.